Good. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Outside the Box was really successful and we're really thankful to have all of your support. So to start, we'll hear from Anne, North River's president. Oh, Anne, you need to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now? All right, hi everybody.
Yes.
I'm Ann Bozak, and I want to welcome everybody to the closing of Outside the Box and our very first ever online auction event. I want to thank Julia Driscoll, and who's our office manager, and everybody on the team that put this together. This was not an easy feat. We had no prior experience, and it turned out to be fun and a successful event, raising over $7,000. And I want to apologize also for the unfortunate glitch that we had at the end. We had to end the event earlier than we had anticipated. Instead of ending at midnight, we had to end at noon. And when that happened, when we noticed it, we tried to fix it right away, and it was just too late, and we couldn't fix it. So sorry, if you wanted to put in additional bids after that and you weren't able to, we apologize. Again, it's our first event. We learned from this, and we will try never to make the same mistakes again. I want to thank a huge thanks to all the artists that contributed their works, to certainly the bidders, all the people who donated gift certificates, the bidders and the winners of the various pieces, and the sponsors of the event. We really needed to have a fundraiser, and these funds were especially important during this difficult COVID time where we had to cancel other fundraising events. So we really very much appreciate your support. At this time, we're scheduling some limited classes, some small classes and workshops, both physical and online. And we're planning additional events before the end of the year, including the annual members show and possibly a holiday art sale. So stay tuned. If you're not on our email list, if you're not getting this information via email, let us know. We'll add you to the email list. We also welcome your suggestions. If there's an activity that you would like to see happen at North River Arts, let us know. Stop by. Julia's at the office 2 days a week from 11 to 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Stop by, say hi, share ideas. We'd love to add some activities that you are all looking forward to having. Or you can write to us or call us. On another note, next week, we are finally starting the renovation project of the historic Gar Hall. We're going to start with the back of the building, which is in dire need of repair. These are thanks to funds that we received from the CPC, the Community Preservation Act. We're looking forward to that. It should not have any interruption on any classes. So if you're signed up for classes, don't worry about it. It's only on the exterior of the building. That's about all I have to say. You're not here to hear me. You're here to see the results of the auction and who the artists are. So I'll turn this over to Nancy, who will take it from here. All right, and Nancy, take it away. Unmute yourself, Nancy.
Unmute yourself, Nancy.
Okay. Now, I thought Julia was going to do it. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Well, again, I just want to thank you. It's so much fun just to see a few more people every time. And as everyone has said, we can't do it without you. And I'll speak for myself saying, I really had no idea how this was going to work or what would happen or whether people would want to participate. And we got a really good number. There were almost 100 artists who put work in, which I just think is fabulous because a lot of us didn't know what was going to happen. And that we made $7,000, I think is incredible. So it's thanks to all of you for the work you've done. I also want to thank Jack Heron, who joined the committee, and Phyllis Wenzel. Sue Kerrigan isn't here, but just the energy, even though we didn't have to do a whole lot of physical work, the energy of knowing that we're all working together just really makes a huge difference. So what we're going to do now is have Julia put up the pictures of the artwork, and that will show the artist's name with them. So you'll be able to see all that. And then afterwards, we thought it might be fun to have some of the artists talk about the work. I know a couple of you have offered to do that. And I said, anyone I see that I know, I'll ask them to speak up anyway. So let's just see how that goes. This is really a party. We want to be relaxed. And I know everyone is anxious to see who did the paintings. And you know, I won a couple of them, so I'm anxious to see who did those. Not paintings, I shouldn't say that because there's quite a variety of artwork. So Julia, do you want to take over and start the screen, the slideshow? And then I'll come back. Ah.
And that's it. Nancy, I think you need to unmute.
Okay, there I am. Wow, I was surprised. There were some I had totally wrong, some I guessed, but that was fun.
It was,
So, yeah, I wonder if now maybe we can all unmute again so we can have a party? That seem right?
let's see how it goes.
Well, let's try it.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
Because I actually missed the one that I that I won. So I'm wondering if is it gonna be on the website with all the names soon, or how do we?
On the website?
Will, oh, good. Yeah, because there's some that went, I tried to write down a few of them, but it went fast. So we thought it would be fun if some of the artists told us what they were thinking about, what they did, why they did what they did. And a few people I've already heard from, so I think I'll start with them. But I trust everybody else feels the same way I do. I think it'd be fun to hear from some of the others. So Jack, Karen, do you want to start and tell us about yours? Which I did,
Sure.
yes.
Sure, I don't, yeah, I am unmuted. Yeah, mine is the Red House in Monhegan.
Mhm.
I call it Monhegan Motif Number 1 because everybody's painted it, including Jamie Wyatt.
Right.
His piece, when he sold it, generated big bucks, and subsequently the house sold for 107,000. Well, it was 700,000.
Wow.
So it's kind of a key thing. When you pull into the harbor, it's red and it stands out. So it's quite distinctive. Yeah, I've gone out to Monhegan every summer now for 20 years, up until this summer. So I was missing it. I needed a subject to produce, and so I went back to Monhegan in the studio. So it's a water, again, 8x8, so it's not very big.
It's beautiful, Jack.
That is,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, I didn't say anything about mine, which was a path with birch trees, just someone walking in the woods. And I was thinking, we're all on a journey now. We don't know quite where we're going or what's going to happen. But there is a path fairly near our house where you can walk through a path of birch trees, going through, and it's just such a relaxing place to be that's why I just thought I would do that.
I didn't guess yours, Nancy. I was looking for yours and I didn't guess
Oh, I'm
yours.
so glad.
I didn't,
I guess yours.
I didn't
Is
get.
there any way to show the image of the artist while the artist is talking? Like to show Jack's and Nancy's quickly?
Oh, we talked about doing that. I don't know if that can be done.
I can share my screen and like scroll through the video.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
It'd be fun to see because I know I did guess Jack's.
And
But
we
now I can't
talked about that the other day, how we could, whether Julie would be able to.
Okay, good night.
There's
Oh yeah,
So there's Jack's.
right.
And of course, on the screen, everything is a little
Faded.
quieter,
Yeah,
Say it.
find out of it.
not as dramatic. And there's Ann Bozak's too.
Nancy's was earlier on, I think.
Yeah.
Up there.
Oh, there,
There it was.
there it is.
There.
Oh yeah.
There it is.
There's a little person, I have to get some red in all my paintings, so there's a little person with a red top on in there, but it's just supposed to be a nice quiet place.
That's
It
beautiful.
looks like there's a little person right in the front birch too, going
Oh.
around the birch.
Oh no, there's a little red. I didn't have enough red. There are a few little red spots in there. Doing my homework thing. So Skip DeBrusque, you said you'd be willing to tell us about yours. You willing to do that?
This summer, we had our driveway seal coated, and it ended up with this beautifully smooth and black and no cracks in it. And about 10 days or 2 weeks after that, there was a knock on the door, and it was 5 or 6 kids, roughly in the age of probably 5 to 10 years old. And their spokesperson said, hey, Skip, can we go out and draw in your driveway? I said, yeah, sure thing. And they said, how much can we use? And I said, we can use the whole thing. And my driveway is roughly 50 feet long and, I don't know, 30 feet wide. And they were out there all afternoon, this hot, dry afternoon, totally unsupervised, no adults, just having a wonderful time. And at the end of the afternoon, the whole driveway was absolutely full of these magnificent drawings. And I feel a little bit bad because I've only shown you one. And in reality, I feel as though I should be showing you at least 3 or 4, because there's also an excellent drawing done by a young woman, a young girl, surfing on top of a wave. But this is also a neighbor. His name is Jake Graziano. And Jake's roughly 10 years old. And it is a double out of the box because Jake normally draws quite a bit, actually, with pencil and paper. So here is what he drew on my driveway.
Very nice. Very
Nice
nice.
story.
Did you happen to the thing on social media where the guy, same sort of thing with his driveway? There was a kid coming by in the afternoon and riding his
Yeah.
bicycle on the driveway and catching it on his security camera. So he then started to put race courses in for the kid to ride his bicycle on.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, but when they did our driveway, there was the golden footsteps all the way from the street right up to the steps. So that the whole driveway was just absolutely covered with drawings.
That's wonderful. I wish I'd seen it.
I actually won that one. So
Well,
You did?
congratulations.
Oh, good.
the story makes it even better. So
So Sharon O'Neill, I didn't see you earlier, but I saw your name. Are you there? You said that you'd be willing to speak.
Yes, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. We
Yeah.
can.
Okay. I don't see my picture yet, but oh yes, the acorns,
Oh, yes, the acorn.
yeah, dramatic acorns. Yeah, I've been doing paintings like that all winter with like just the rhythm of nature. And I have no idea what anybody thinks of it, because you can't get out anywhere or talk to people. It's just, you know, kind of painting in a vacuum.
Sharon, I didn't recognize that from you at all. It's so different, and I loved it. I absolutely
love it,
loved it.
too.
Yeah, it's so different from what I know of your work from the past, but it's absolutely beautiful. You really have the rhythms beautifully.
Oh, thank you. I've been working on that. I've switched from pastels to oils,
Yeah, yeah.
and I like it so much. I was so tired of the dust. I couldn't take the pastel dust anymore.
I might try oils. I would be inspired. I'm inspired by you.
Thank you.
That's great. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, now I can't see everybody now. Who else would like to, or is willing to talk about their art? Otherwise, I'm just going to pick out people I know.
I'd
I'll
like,
do mine. I'll do mine since I'm right there.
yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to hear Erica because I saw her name.
I feel badly because I know we were supposed, this was my first out of the box experience ever. And I know that we were supposed to sort of go out of our comfort zone and do something that was not necessarily recognizable. And I kind of flailed around with a couple 8x8s doing wildly different things, and I hated them, and I realized no one would bid on them because they were so bad. So I decided that I would actually do something that I hoped would get some bids. So I fell back into my comfort zone and did one of my little fantasy landscapes.
Wait, what's the mixed media? What's your media?
I started off with some watercolor on watercolor paper, and then added, like I always do, I added a bunch of mark making tools, graphites and pencils and acrylic pens. And then I added some acrylic paint back in afterwards too. So it's got everything, a little bit of everything
Wonderful.
Lovely.
in there.
It just feels so cheerful too, to me.
I keep seeing coronaviruses
I
spread.
know.
That's not cheerful.
They're everywhere.
So who else?
I'll talk about mine.
Okay, oh, good. Yes, Tracy, of course.
I don't know where it is in the.
I'll find out.
There, whoop, there it is.
There you go.
Yeah. So, I already had the majority of this painting was for a class that Eric and I had done over the winter. We had lots and lots of these boards that we painted on, and they were already I was experimenting with texture because texture is my favorite thing in the whole world to experiment with. And so there's a lot of paint and a lot of putty kind of on there. So I said, some of the shapes originally looked like fish, and I thought, oh. And then it made me laugh because I thought about all the problems with schooling, and it was such a fun that I decided to go ahead and go with that. So I created them more into fish and thought about, virtual schooling. But it's really more about the texture than it is really about the pattern, but it was fun to do.
You know what I think of, Tracy, with the fish? The first year we made puppets for the puppet parade, you did a giant fish.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
never forgotten that.
That's right.
Which got turned into a bee last year.
Yeah, he went through a transformation into a bee last year.
There you go.
Were you thinking, Tracy, were you thinking of swarming or schooling?
Schooling, yeah. Well, also it was kind of poignant because my kids were going off to college, kind of. Of course, it's all changed now, but at the time, I was thinking about, school, our last year of school, our first year of school, and it's really amazing how school this year with the pandemic, how different it felt. I don't know if everybody else noticed this. Maybe I did, just because it was the first year I didn't have kids going back to school in town. But there was so many less commercials and so many less kind of visual cues because schools went back so much later. And so you didn't see the yellow school bus coming down the road. You didn't see the back to school commercials so much. It was really strange. It was almost like the back to school vibe kind of it kind of vanished for a while, and then it was kind of a stop start thing. So it's a bit strange.
Oh, that's interesting. Interesting how one piece kind of leads, or one thought leads to another, and all gets tied together in what we're living with today.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, thanks.
I'm just making an observation, but my recommendation is that in the future that we incorporate this in OTB, because it's so great to hear the stories in all of our shows, to hear the stories of how they happened and what they mean and what went through your mind.
Now, how about you, Polly?
I didn't do one.
Okay, that's why I didn't find it.
Actually, I'll tell you, I did do one, but I got a new computer 3 days before I put it in, and I couldn't load up my image of it by the deadline, the later deadline to get it submitted. So
Okay, you're excused this time.
sorry.
Okay, Karen Dunderdale, could you tell us yours? I saw you did one.
Yeah, and you'll recognize, Nancy, that it's totally not me. I'm
Yeah.
usually I'm usually a very realistic artist. And I'm hoping Roberta Fairbanks and Betty Rogers recognize this.
I won.
Hello, Betty. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Okay. I did this, a larger piece of this years ago. Betty, what was it, about 6, 7 years ago, maybe 8? In a class Betty had, having us do corn. And a lot of people
Was it my
just-
class?
Yes,
Was it
yes, at the
Oh,
Y
okay.
years
No wonder.
ago. And Roberta Fairbanks did one too. I remember it. And so I was kind of pressed for time, and I went through some old stuff I had around, and I cut an 8x8 out of one that I did with Betty. And of course, Betty likes to drop in color all over the place and then add the realistic details. And that's what happened with this one. So yeah, I thought Betty and Roberta would take you back, hopefully. So, and I
thought you did the seagull.
no, that's Gail. Look at that.
I know. No. That's
Seagull.
Roberta.
Oh, that Roberta. Yeah, Roberta also very
That's
realistic.
Roberta Fairbanks, and I'm delighted that I got it.
Oh,
Gail.
well, go to them now. Go to Gail.
Gail,
and
can
Roberta.
I ask you about, Gail, can I ask you
Can you
about,
hear me?
Gail, yeah, I hear you.
All right.
What kind
That's
of bird is
something
that?
that living on the North River, you see wonderful birds. And actually the wood duck, they show up around the fall, and it was on my dock. And so that was my inspiration. But yeah, you know, these are a lot of fun. I mean, I did actually 10 of them.
Wow.
So I was hoping we could use more than one because they're stacked up in my studio right now.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Nice, Gail. Very, very.
Thank you. It's nice to see everybody, by the way.
Yeah,
Sure,
absolutely.
Good to see you.
We can't see you yet.
Well, that's probably good.
No.
Not.
It's been months, Gail. It's been so many months.
I know. I've been very busy though. I've been painting like crazy with watercolor, pastel, and now acrylic. I've had a few commissions.
Wow.
So I can't say I'm bored during the pandemic.
Great.
Yeah.
So
But I just miss everybody. I miss seeing all of you girls when we paint together, you know, whether it be watercolor, pastel. It's hard not seeing everybody, but
And what about
it'll
our
pass.
Scott?
Yeah,
And what about what?
Our
it will
Scott?
pass at some point. It will change.
That's right.
Julia, can we go back to seeing everybody?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna talk. Are we gonna talk some more about some?
Who else would like, Julia?
Yes,
Berkeley?
Betty. Talk
No,
to
you
Betty.
have something.
Yeah, Betty, where's yours? I missed it.
Oh,
For mine?
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I was with Betty when she did that.
So you know who painted that.
Yeah.
No, the other Betty.
Betty, yeah, that's Betty Tufangshin, but she can talk about it too while it's there.
She was there too.
Right.
No, Betty Tufangshin, talk.
Betty Tufangshin, you talk now.
She's still here?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Okay, Betty Rogers, you're up then. There she is.
Okay, that technique is new for me. The pen and ink, and I'm really enjoying it. I did one probably every week, going out with the group painting on Tuesdays. And this was a community garden in Hammerock. And that it was set up pretty much just like that. And I'm like, I'm gonna paint that.
So what kind of ink and what kind of pen?
Oh, it's kind of just like a pointy black, like a Sharpie, but it's not a Sharpie. But you have to make sure that it doesn't run when you put the watercolor on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was seasonal. And
Okay, but with the color, how did you get the color?
oh, it's totally watercolor.
Oh, watercolor, because you said
Yeah,
pen
totally.
and ink. So
Yeah, it is. But then with watercolor over it.
I see.
And I like the cages and the oldness of the cages, and they're always bent and
Yeah.
weird looking, and I love the scene.
Yeah, that's great.
Is it on watercolor paper?
It is on watercolor paper. Yes.
It's lovely, lovely.
Thank you. I'm done.
Anybody else want to share their story? Otherwise, we can go back to looking at us.
And both sides.
Anne, of
Hear
course.
what you think of yours. Wait, we can't hear you. Put yourself on.
Ernie told me your favorite recipe is reservations. I didn't say. Don't put words in my mouth.
Anne with the rest of her life. Anne, are you there?
Yes, sorry.
Okay, there you go.
I'm here. I don't have much to say except that, Nancy, you might recognize this. It's my memories of our trips to Italy.
I was going to
Oh.
say, the trees look Italian and it looks like the little casita out in the vineyard.
That's right. That's right. Well, the trees were supposed to look a little more like cypress trees, but use your imagination. So yeah, that was just that's just a little memory of our wonderful trips. I went twice with Nancy's group, and if you haven't done that, it's a wonderful trip.
I went 3 times.
Yay!
Anyway.
What about
Right. I'm unmuted now, so I can talk about mine. if you want.
Betty, tell us. Yeah, that's
Okay.
interesting.
All right, well, I've taken some classes from Kim Alemian, and what she has you do is you do either a still life or a landscape. So this is a landscape looking out my window, and those are the jetties on the harbor in Situate Harbor, and that's the cross beams for my pier. And then what she has you do is she has you turn it sideways, and then you do the same scene. So I did the same scene only in different colors, and then I turned it again, and I did the same scene. And this is bushes and things that were in the way. So it's actually in brighter colors. I just used colors that I like, and then I added the yellow. So that was my plan.
So you started out with like an instruction, and then you added what you thought it needed. You added color and highlights as you needed.
I did it in different colors because obviously the jetties aren't blue and they aren't pink, and the pier is gray, not blue or pink. So I used colors that I liked for the landscaping, but then when I turned it, it gave it a different dimension. So then the yellow is what I added in afterwards, just because I wanted some yellow in it.
I like it too. That yellow helps.
That was a good decision.
Thank you.
I'd like to hear from Claire and Julia.
And Phyllis.
Well, okay. Claire, are you there?
Yeah. So I did a mixed media piece, actually on one of my mom's old paintings that she didn't like anymore. She gave it to me to do a painting on. And I'm 18, so I mean, it's like a really weird time to be 18. And I've been getting like more into art and doing an internship with North River as kind of like a way to, I guess, like deal with everything that's going on, because it's just a weird time. But yeah, I used like a bunch of magazines and stuff, and used a lot of orange because I felt like that was a very like hazardous color. But yeah, that's like pretty much my explanation.
It's powerful.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing
And
it.
it's my first painting I've ever sold, so yay.
Great.
Thank you to whoever bought it.
Claire, I love the radical intimacy piece of it.
Thank
that
you.
comes through with the red. I love that.
It's terrific. Yeah, Julia, how about you sharing too?
Let's see. There's mine on the left. There's not too much of a story. It's also pen and ink with watercolor, and then on top of it, I added some oil pastel. I used a reference photo. My friend has a beautiful garden on Union Street in Marshfields, and they also have a garden stand at the end of their driveway. So these were some radishes that they grew, and I was just inspired to paint them, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's wonderful.
I really like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to say, I think I won Claire's painting, so.
Thank you.
I unmuted myself. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much. That's so exciting. Oh my God.
Could we hear about Phyllis's? I'm curious about Phyllis's.
Me too.
Is she still here?
There it is.
Oh, I love it.
Me too. I do too.
So
I thought it was a Mary Tannaro, frankly.
I took a class with Kelly McDonald, and she introduced me to the intuitive abstract idea. And I really found it to be kind of fun and refreshing to be able to do a lot of different colors and textures. And this was actually one of my first ones that I did on my own. So I was kind of happy with it. And I'm looking forward to taking another class with her starting next week. So
I'll join you. I'm going to take it too.
I'm in the class too.
Oh, great. Wonderful.
I'm taking that too.
Oh, good.
What's that?
Phyllis, I think this is fabulous. You were
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Thank
the
you.
other night, and I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Phyllis, did you use a little sewing wheel for your tiny little dots?
I did.
It's funny, I have one of those and I forget, but I love the marks that makes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was lots of fun to do.
Wonderful. Okay, who else would like to speak? I can't
Nancy,
see
I'll
anyone.
speak. It's Julie.
Okay, oh yes, that's right. I asked you before. Go for it.
Yeah, I think I actually had a typo on yours. Sorry about that.
On mine?
Julie, right? Yeah, I wrote Juliet.
Oh yeah, I could be
It's like auto-responsive typing my own name, you know.
So I'm Julie Burgess, and I'd actually like to say hi to my old neighbors, Skip and Nancy. It's so good seeing your faces on here. And Betty from St. Mary's, it's nice to see you. I don't know if you remember me.
We can't see you though.
Oh, you can't see me. That
Oh,
might
I
be
can.
okay.
I can.
I can't.
Oh,
I
Betty,
can.
put it on speaker view.
Yeah, put on speaker view.
So Nancy, it's funny when you said, can you tell us, you asked the artist to tell what they were thinking. And to be honest, it might be a problem of mine, but I don't really think a lot before I do something. It usually just comes to life in my mind, and I don't know where it comes to life. So I had been frustrated with a painting prior to this that I ripped up. And as I was looking, I kept walking by the little pieces every day, and little vignettes and landscapes kept popping up. So I said, that's it. That's what I'm going to do. And my art critique, my husband, Frank, said I had to do something different with the background, which I did. I listened to his advice, and it just seemed to all work. And I never use red. Nancy knows this.
Yeah.
She says I love any color as long as it's blue.
It's blue.
But for some reason, that little sailboat is a different color. So it was a lot of fun. Lighthouses I got obsessed with, and I think it's because how you described your path, Nancy. We don't know where we're going, but I keep painting lighthouses over and over, and I think it's because we need something to look towards right now. So and the show was excellent. Thank you so much. Everybody's artwork was amazing, and I love all the effort you put into getting it up online.
Well, I'm so glad you're part of it.
Now I can see you, Julie. For some reason, it just popped up. So hi, how are you?
This really is wonderful, and frankly, I think that this is a better party for Outside the Box, because we get to hear from all the artists. That's it. I think it's so nice. Like you get to hear little conversations of people but this is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm glad. Anyone else? I can't see you all again, so I'm trusting you to speak up. It is fun to hear from people.
Well done,
Right.
everybody outside the box. Well done, artists, bidders, Julia, Claire, Nancy, Sue Kerrigan, and everybody. Tracy, thank you so much. You all, you did such a marvelous job. Yes.
Yay.
And Jack for joining. Yes.
Well, we'll continue to have fun, hopefully have the member show online and maybe even the holiday art sale. We've got to figure it all out. And as Anne said earlier, if any of you have any ideas of things that you would like to do, like to have us try to put together, because and this is a daily experiment, at least on my part. Julia's pretty savvy techie.
Yeah,
So just let us know anything you want or that you could offer yourself, because it's so important that we connect. We're just finding tonight to be able to see people we haven't seen in a long time.
Right.
So keep in touch with Julia or any of us.
It's nice to see faces.
I know.
You know, here, the whole face.
It's so long since I've worn makeup because you can't wear a makeup with mask. But here I could have done a little better, but I didn't.
I said to Bruce tonight, I said,
Cheers.
do I have to change my clothes because I'm going to a party, or, you know, what do I do? So cheers, cheers.
Anyway, here's to all of you. So Julia, do you want to wrap us up?
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you again for everyone participating and joining us tonight. It means a lot to us. And if you want a piece of art, you can pick them up during office hours, which are Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 to 2. If you aren't able to come, just send me an email or call me and we'll work it out. And also, if anyone's interested in teaching classes with North River, definitely let us know. We would love to have you. So that's about it.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Julia.
Yeah, and I just again
Thank
want
you.
to say, Julia hit the ground running in the spring and has done, I cannot believe that I mean, it's like you're not just treading water, you're really pushing forward, and I'm really impressed. So,
She won
thank
the
you.
steeplechase. She won the steeplechase.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very nice. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing all of you again. Julie, someday we have to get together again too. Yeah.
Bye, friends.
Miss you all. Take
Yeah.
care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Good night.